What's up, issue? For today's video, with a full Bonsly evolution team, I'll be using Bonsly and Sudowoodo, so 2 of each. We have got the abilities Sturdy, Rockhead, and Rattled. So this is actually a pretty difficult team because Sudowoodo and Bonsly are not fast Pokemon and they've got many weaknesses. So I had to come up with some good strategies here to try and make this team actually work. I've got 8 battles today with this team, and I really hope you enjoy. Is anyone's favourite Pokemon of all time Sudowoodo or Bonsly? Or what do you think of these Pokemon? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Tell me all about it in the comment section. Alright, our first random battle here. We have got a bit of an interesting matchup here. We have got an Iron Moth. So that's going to be using Bug Buzz on my Bonsly lead. Bonsly actually gets a nice early Stone Edge KO, which is really good. Next Pokemon we got here is going to be Scarlet. This is a random battle too. I think the trainer's name was Arena or something like that. This is a Custep Berry Bonsly with Sturdy, and it worked pretty well. So the set was Counter, Flail, Sucker Punch, and Stone Edge. And Sturdy is ability, Max Attack, Adamant Nature, Max Speed, and I also have Custep Berry on there as well. So unfortunately, Meowscarlet is able to live that Flail. It did a really good amount of damage though. So I'm going to bring in Sudowoodo here. This is my Assault Vested tanky set here. So we have Max Health and Max Attack, Adamant Nature. Assault Vest as the item, Rockhead is the ability, so I can use moves like Head Smash and Wood Hammer with no recoil. And Sucker Punch was good for priority, and Drain Punch with Terra Fighting. So in comes Dragonite, and it's shiny green, so we got to get rid of that, you know. So I'm going to go for the Head Smash that obliterates Dragonite almost in one shot. With multi-scale up there, it's only able to live, why is that called Purunga? I don't know what that even means. I have no idea what that means. Anyway, Dragonite is going to faint to a Sucker Punch, so that's excellent. So that's half the team down already. Things are going, pretty well. Next Pokemon is going to be Iron Valium. Strelitzia. Is that German? I'm not sure. Anyway, we got a Speed Rise here. Now, I only can just Sucker Punch this. That's about it. I'm going to get outspared and probably, beaten by this set quite easily. So this is going to be a physical set. This Pokemon can be physical, special, mix, you never know what you're going to deal with. Sudowoodo is going to get dropped by a close combat. Now, this has the capacity to beat my entire team. However, I've got a few sturdy Pokemon. So the next Bonsly is exactly the same set here, and we've got Terra Ghost because it just works so well against randoms online, right? It was great for just getting rid of physical attackers and then having a Custep Berry afterwards to get some big damage with Flail, right? So I managed to live that. I guess they figured they went for Night Slash instead there for less damage on counter, but it still did tons of damage anyway, and we were able to take that out. In comes Haxorus here. Haxorus, I figured I can go for a Flail here. It's actually going to take me up close combat because it's got Unnerve, right? So Unnerve nullified my Custep Berry, which sucks. I could have got some good damage there, but I've got one more Pokemon left now, a 4 Pokemon team, and this has got Life Orb too. So there was only one way I could actually get back in this game because the last Pokemon and Haxorus were both faster than me. So this is also a sturdy Sudowoodo, and it's a weakness policy set, and I've got Rock Polish on there too. So with weakness policy and Rock Polish, I can outspeed quite a few Pokemon. It's not super duper fast after a Rock Polish, but it's reasonable. Sudowoodo only has 30 base speed, so it's not very fast. So I had to run Jolly Nature on this one. I really had to, because I would have loved to go Adamant, but I had to go for Jolly. So we got Terra Normal and Flail on this one. This is a really powerful Flail set. I didn't Terra just yet because I knew that would take Haxorus out. Plus, I wanted to see what the last Pokemon would actually do, or, if they were going to use a certain move on me. And that last Pokemon was Goodra. So Goodra is our last Pokemon, or Drippy. That's not a bad name, Drippy. So I'm going to go for Terra Normal Flail here. I thought, well, I've got absolutely nothing to lose. I'm going to go for that. I wasn't sure whether they had a Terra Steel on it. That's why I didn't want a Terra right away. I had no idea what they had. And they Terra'd this turn too. So I'm like, all right, what will it be? You know, because Goodra can have a few different Terras. And this is going to be Terra Poison, which is a good defensive Terra on Goodra. Unfortunately for Goodra, I've got a weakness policy up. I'm on 1 HP and I've got Terra Normal. And Flail is hitting like an absolute truck. And that is the end of the first battle there. Everything, even the Bonslies didn't work perfectly. Like, they didn't get their Custard Berry and a lot of KOs there, but they were enough for Sudowoodo to clean up there at the end. Ariana, I think that is. Next battle, I don't know, little homie, I think they fell asleep on the keyboard because I don't know what that name is. Like, I don't know. So anyway, we've got a Flutter Mane here. I've never seen that one before, and it's totally not hacked. So I'm going to be going for a Stone Edge. So Fluttermane's going to obviously go for the Shadow Ball here, putting Bonsly on 1 health. Thankfully, Stone Edge does land, and it almost takes out Fluttermane. The whole idea with these Bonsly sets, you want to get a KO on the first hit if you can, right? And then you want to use Custard Berry on the next Pokemon and use Flail, right? It was difficult to get like a one-hit KO with Bonsly. A lot of the time would have to be quite a, you know, a glass cannon sort of Pokemon. Sweet Gums Rhyperior, I was like, well, man, really the only way I could do that too was with counter. If I could get a counter KO, then the next Pokemon will be a guaranteed Custard Berry Flail, right? That's generally how it worked. I couldn't take Rhyperior out. Absolutely no way. I was countered pretty hard there. Speaking of counter, we're going to bring in Bonsly number 2, and we're going to go for counter here. So obviously they're going to use Earthquake. Super effective against my entire team. So we're going to get rid of that Rhyperior, or I thought I was, and it just lives. I'm like, well, both of my Custard Berries now, they're both wasted because I've got to go Custard Berry Sucker Punch or like Flail, disrespect. So we're going to be eating a berry here. So I wasted both of those berries. In the previous battle I didn't, but this one I did waste them because I just simply didn't secure the counter KOs because Rhyperior just had too much health, you know. Next Pokemon is going to be Sylveon. So I was like, oh, this is good. I can go for Flail. I'll be at 1 health and, you know, I'll be great. But I was like, I can't because I used up my Custard Berry the turn before. So you see how important it is to use the counter and get the KO. Then you can get that advantage on the next Pokemon. So things were not going well here, and I still had 4 Pokemon left. So I was thinking here, I've got to go for Head Smash. I've got to get rid of this Pokemon. So Moonblast doesn't do too much due to max health and Assault Vest. I'm probably pretty surprised by the amount of damage that I did there. And Head Smash is going to completely and utterly annihilate Sylveon in 1 shot. So that's really, really good. Next Pokemon in, another Hackmon is a Charizard. I thought, are they going to go for it? They have to be going for a Terra here. So I was thinking, I think Head Smash still going to be good, even if they go for a defensive Terra. And they went for a Sunny Day. I'm like, wow, they're dead. And Head Smash missed. I'm like, are you serious? And then they followed it up with a Solar Beam. Like, you are the luckiest person ever, right? So Head Smash, I mean, its accuracy, to be fair, isn't all that good, but they were so lucky, right? Because they had to have that Sunny Day to use Solar Beam. And then, of course, Solar Beam is really good against the rest of my team. So I'm down to Sudowoodo. I've got 3 more Pokemon left. I'm like, man, I'm going to have to come up with a miracle here. So we've got Rock Polish. We got Weakness Policy. Now, I can't go for Terry here because I need to activate a super effective move. So I need them to use Solar Beam on me, which I knew they would. And then they press their advantage with Terra Grass. I'm like, this is actually a good outcome because they're using up their Terra now. If I get past this Charizard, there's not going to be any surprise Terras. So I know I'm pretty confident what moves I can use there. But I've got to be able to outspeed the Charizard, which I was like, I should be able to with the Rock Polish. So I got Weakness Policy. I got them red cherries, and I got that Rock Polish going. So I've got Terra Normal. I thought at this stage, I've got absolutely nothing to lose now. There's no surprise Terras in the back. I can do this right. So we're going to go that Terra Normal, 1 HP Flail. And it does hit very, very hard, like extremely hard. Especially after +2 maximum Flail and Terra Normal. So we're going to do that little dance, and Sudowoodo is going to take out the Charizard. So that's excellent. I've got 2 Pokemon left. One of them was really quite bulky, and the other one I was like, I should be fine against that. Our next Pokemon here is going to be Ninetales Alola. Now, Ninetales Alola does get granted some bulkier. And I was like, should I go for Stone Edge? I was like, we'll just go for Flail. I went for Stone Edge there. I feel like they probably would have done around the same amount of damage, to be fair, because that was super effective, whereas Flail wasn't. But regardless, they were both going down right. Bye-bye, Ninetales. Last Pokemon is going to be Umbreon, and Umbreon is going to live all my moves except for Flail. So I have to go for Flail at full base power, and Umbreon gets rolled out like a lounge room rug. And that is another W with the Bonsly. What a great clutch. That's like multiple clutch comebacks in a row there from this Sudowoodo. So taking to my random opponent, Shredded, blah, 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 blah. So, little homie fell asleep on the keyboard. Next battle, this is a random battle. This one is against Farts. And I think this person may know of my channel, right? Because you'll get to see. So they brought 5 Pokemon along, and they led with Palafin. So they'll try to just do the press A button win with Palafin. I see what they're trying to do. So I've got that Sturdy, I've got that Bonsly, and I've got a fat counter coming your way, right? Now, the Pokemon they swapped in was called Pickle Ben. Now, for the life of me, I cannot even fathom anything apart from someone trying to roast me with pickles, right? But the Mewtwo got dropped, and also the Mewtwo wasn't green like a pickle, so I'm like, that's had to be someone that's watched my videos before, surely. So they're going to bring in their little Palafin. They're going to go from 0 to hero, and I'm going to go for Flail, but I thought they'd probably have Jet Punch and get around that, and they did. So that's the end of Bonsly. I have to believe I can get around this Palafin. I've got another Bonsly, and I've got my other Sudowoodo. Now, I feel like if I go counter here, they'll probably guess that, but the Pokemon they brought on their team, it should be okay to get around there. So now Palafin's going to go for a bulk up. They obviously know that I'm going to go for counter this time, but then again, what are they going to do? Are they going to go for flip turn? Are they going to swap? In the end, they decide to go for the Jet Punch, which is good, right? So Bonsly is going to be able to go for counter here, and Palafin is going to go down. So that's excellent. That's a big counter right out the way there. So I was really happy with that. Goodness knows what that Mewtwo had. That would have been a competitive set for sure. So we got a Gengar coming in here. Now I've got Sucker Punch, and I've got a Custap Breeze Stone Edge. I thought, oh, Stone Edge will do some good damage if I get a crit. So getting that juicy Custap and Stone Edge lands, and Gengar takes really, really good damage, and it's going to use Hex. So since it's got Hex, that tells me straight away it's got some sort of status move, or someone at least on their team has a way of, using status and boosting up Gengar's attack. So I thought I'll go into Sudowoodo, I'll finish it with Sucker Punch, and that should be okay. And hopefully I don't get Cursed Body. This had Rocky Helmet on Gengar? What the heck? So that was like a bit of a surprise item, I guess. So that's down. So things are going great so far. Then the Skeledirge. So Skeledirge, I thought, well, this is going to take an enormous amount of damage from Head Smash. Skeledirge has got quick claw, not quick attack. Then they used Willow Miss, and it missed. And then my Head Smash missed. I'm like, no. So I went for Head Smash again. Nothing to lose here. And then their Will-O-Wisp is going to connect. So I thought to myself, well, you know what? Even if I'm burned, this Head Smash is still going to be a 2-hit KO. It has to be, right? And then Head Smash missed again, twice in a row. Oh, man. So I was like, well, I have to do something here. They're probably going to use Shadow Ball or something like that. And then they went for a Hex. Hex didn't fate me only due to my Solfest, and I missed 3 Head Smashes in a row. That easily would have taken out, Skeledirge. Look, it might have had Slack Off, but it would have had to use Slack Off while I was firing off Head Smashes. So I don't think that would have got them much there. I still would have done a lot of damage. So I thought, well, I'm just going to go for Sucker Punch to get some damage. And look at the damage of Sucker Punch. So Head Smash would have done tons still. So another Hex there on my Sudowoodo, and they got a crit that didn't matter. So I'm down to my last Sudowoodo again. I've got 3 Pokemon left. It's not looking good, people. But as you know, I've got Terra Normal on this. So I thought to myself, well, I have to either attack here or risk it and go for Rock Polish. I went for the Stone Edge, and it actually lives. So I figured at this point, I don't think they're going to go for a Will-O-Miss. I think they're just going to go for Hex again, right? So I went for the Terra Normal, and I went for Rock Polish in hopes that I would be able to get this Rock Polish off and not be burned, because I needed this Rock Polish to outspeed their remaining Pokemon. So thankfully they went for the Ghost type move there, which is excellent. And to be fair, that they had no idea I would use a Terra Normal. And now I've got my free speed up there, which is great. So I could go for anything. I was like, well, I'll go for Earthquake because Earthquake is not going to miss. I'd hate to miss a Stone Edge and then they burnt me or got a Slack off or something annoying like that. So Skeleturge is down there. We've got 1 more Pokeball left. And the last Pokemon is going to be Charizard. It's like, no way Charizard is living a Head Smash or a Stone Edge. Both great rock moves that Sudowoodo learned. So I went for Stone Edge, and that is easily going to take out the Charizard there, and that's the end of the game. I don't think they had another. They probably had Terra Fire or something like that, so which wouldn't have made much of a difference. So thank you, Farts, for the battle. I'm pretty sure you at least know of Pickles, right? That's why you called Mewtwo that. Unless there's some sort of meme I'm missing with, with Mewtwo. Anyway, let's get on to battle number 4 here. If you're enjoying the video so far, if you enjoy the videos, if you want to support the channel, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, tell me what you think of Sudowoodo. You know, if you do drop a like and a comment, it makes my videos like appear to you more often, right? You don't need to dive into, jump through 1,000 hoops to find my videos, right? That's how YouTube is these days, guys. I'm sorry, but if you want to see my videos often, that is the key. All right, next random battle here. I have no idea what my opponent's trainer name is. If someone can translate, that'd be cool. We got a Serena lead. Now, this trainer had a full Serena team. Not joking, so it was pretty cool. Now, they had 6 Pokemon, and they just brought 4, which was pretty good because they've got an enormous advantage against my team with Grass-type Pokemon. And Serena is a good counter for Sucker Punch as well. I just went for Sucker Punch because I knew I'd get outspeed anyway. I just wanted to use it because I had nothing else to use there. And Serena's going to finish me with a Leaf Storm, so it's a special Serena. Now, I've got Bonsly. I thought, well, you'd probably be tempted to go for Leaf Storm again because Bonsly's bulk is horrendous on the special side. And I thought, if I go for Flail, I can then take it out, or I could go for Stone Edge or double up with a Flail. So here comes another Leaf Storm from the Serena. It's going to take me down to 1 HP with Sturdy, which is excellent. Now I can go for my Flail and get that big power. And I got a pretty good amount of damage, followed up with a Custap Berry, which is a 2-hit KO. Serena's got some pretty good bulk to it too, which made it difficult for my team. So I've taken out half the team now, which is excellent. And I've still got 1 Bonsly in the back. Next poke, was that a Master Ball one? I think it might have been. Serena's going to come out here, another one, and I've got nothing to use. Like, let's go for Sucker Punch. Let's activate that Queenly Majesty again, and I'll just feint to whatever move it has, and I use U-turn. So I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe they're running like a Choice Bandit set. Maybe that's it. I mean, that could be an option for Serena. So Serena's going to swap out, and another Serena the Lively is going to come in to another one. So we're going to go on to our Bonsly this time. I'm hoping they've got a physical set, then I can finish them off with counter. Well, that was at least the strategy there. And I thought maybe I should go Stone Edge instead. However, they're going to have a ginormous counter to my team, and that's going to be Bullet Seeds. I'm like, uh-oh. I'm sure it's loaded dice as well, so this is huge, right? This is a mega counter. So my last Pokemon on my team, as you know, is Sudowoodo, and this relies on a super effective attack. But there's no way I'm going to live even 4 Bullet Seeds with this Sudowoodo because it's a sweeping set, and I need that to activate my weakness policy. So I thought, gee, I'm in a bit of trouble here. Maybe I'll go Terra Normal and then Rock Polish and see maybe if they go for a Terra. They may go for a Terra this turn because, they've got all the... They've taken all my other Pokemon out, right? So here comes the Terra, and yeah, they've got Terra It's a Terra Rock there. So I've got Terra Rock versus my Terra Normal. I thought, well, I guess I can go Earthquake against that. That'll be super effective, but I wasn't really sure how much it would do. I was like, this is going to have to probably be a critical hit to take out Serena, because it does have some, it's got some reasonable natural bulk there. So we're just going to see what they're going to do, and they're going to use Play Rough. So Play Rough does a little bit of my health, and I've got the Rock Polish. So I guess they expected me to go for a Terra 2. That's why they went for Play Rough instead of Bullet Seed. So now I'm ready to go for Earthquake here. I was like, all right, come on, let's get a juicy crit, and I didn't get the crit, sadly, and they can just press the A button there with Bullet Seed. So that is going to be 4 hits at minimum. I was like, well, that's 2. That's 3. And we got the 4th hit here, and that took me out. So it was a pretty close battle, but their type advantage made it very difficult for sure. I actually had a couple of battles against them with some of my other teams, but they always had like the type advantage, which made it difficult. But interesting to see a Serena team of 6-2. Definitely interesting. Most of their sets were pretty competitive though, except for the special one when I battled them. All right, next battle here. This is another random battle. This one is against Aero. And this is a pretty powerful, this is a competitive team as well. So, as you can imagine when I'm battling randoms online. So, of course, they brought 4 Pokemon, which is cool, but they had some really good counters to my team, too. So, first Pokemon, of course, is going to be Palafin. And this is good because I'm like, that's great. I can counter this, and I can hopefully get a KO, and then follow it up. So, they brought Metagross in. I was like, the team preview, when I seen Metagross, I'm like, I really, really hope they bring that in. And that was the first Pokemon they brought in. That was an excellent KO there, because I had very little to take that out, plus it had loads of priority. So in comes the Palafin again. Palafin, I figured would probably go for like Jet Punch. I was like, well, I'll go for Flail with Custard Berry. Maybe they have something else. Maybe they'll Flip Turn again. And they did, I guess. And Flail does really, really good damage. So they definitely didn't expect me to outspeed them that turn, or, do some significant damage, which I did. So that's great. The battle's going really, really well so far. I took out a Metagross Bonsly took out a Metagross and did half of Palafin's health. Excellent. Then they brought in the Scissor. I'm like, this is going to be a problem. So I've got my Bonsly, my second one. I thought, well, if they go for Bullet Punch, or heck, any sort of physical move, I at least can go for, counter on it. But they went for Knockoff instead. I'm like, right, that's fine. Sadly, they actually knocked off my Custard Berry, so I couldn't follow it up with an attacking move. But I got rid of Scissor, right, which is excellent. So they brought all the Pokemon that were really strong against my team. They left the 2 out that weren't so good against my team. I noticed that. And you know what I mean? They've got a Water, 2 Steels, and a Grass. So they were going, they brought their best Pokemon that was suited for this team, right? So we've got a Superior here. Now, I know they're probably going to go for Leaf Storm, but they went for Giga Drain here. I thought, maybe they didn't want to miss, and get hit by a Flail. So I've got 2 Sudowoodo left. I thought, let's bring the one in with Assault Vest, because I smell a Leaf Storm. So I've got Head Smash. I thought about going for Terra Fighting here to resist that, and then I could still go for Head Smash, and then maybe I could follow it up with a Drain Punch to get some health back. So I thought, that's a good idea, because I don't want to be stuck on my last Sudowoodo. I've still got a Palafin to deal with if I somehow get around the Superior. So go for that Terra Fighting. They went for Giga Drain instead there. I guess they figured they'd do tons. To be fair, they would have done tons of damage anyway. Almost taking me out there. But Head Smash missed. I was like, oh, sucks. So now they use the Leaf Storm. I've got Assault Vest though. I'm able to live that one. They've got the Contrary, but Head Smash almost takes them out. Very, very close, and I'd say they've got maybe Substitute on that set too, or Leftovers. So I thought, I absolutely have to take this out with Sucker Punch, and that took the Superior. So that was excellent. So the last Pokemon now is the Palafin. Now, Palafin will outspeed me. I do have Sucker Punch, but even if I'm able to get Sucker Punch off here, I know that it's not taking it out, so there's really not much I can do. I don't want to swap my other Pokemon in. So they're going to go for Jet Punch, and that's enough to take out Sudowoodo there. You would have been pretty close, actually, because that was neutral, and Sudowoodo's base defense is pretty good. Our last Pokemon here is going to be Sudowoodo. I thought, well, you're definitely going for a Water-type move, Flip Turn, or Jet Punch, anything, right? I've got Flail. I'm just going to go for Flail straight up. So Sturdy is going to activate, and Weakness Policy is going to activate, and I'm going to go for a Flail right here. And with all the damage I did to them with Bonsly earlier on, I knew this would... I mean, this would get pretty close to, like, one-shotting Palafin, actually. And Flail's going to take them out. What a battle there, getting around all those... Like, all of them. That was 4 counters there. My abilities and my strategy helped me get around that team really, really well. Let's get on to the next battle. This one is going to be Battle 6, and this is a pretty funny battle because they only brought one Pokemon, and it was Arceus. So I guess they were pretty confident they were going to win this battle. So I've got a Bonsly lead, and they're going to start using Sword Dance here with their Arceus. So I was like, well, I used Counter this turn. I wanted to see what it's going to be. I figured you're probably a physical Arceus, most of them are. So I figured at this point, what are you going to do? You don't have any other Pokemon. You opted to choose one Pokemon. And now they're spamming Sword Dance here against a Bonsly. So I thought, well, I'm just going to sit in and use Counter. What are you going to do? So they're going to go for 3 Sword Dances against a Bonsly, only on PIMPNITE Shadow. And we're going to go for a Counter. And I'm like, bro, you're going to have to attack me. You're going to have to attack Bonsly soon enough. So then they started trying to, I guess they tried to sort of stall out my counters, and I thought, well, I'm just going to sit this Bonsly in here the whole time. You have to attack it eventually. Then they went for Dragon Claw, and I've got the Sturdy, and I was like, all right, time for a counter, right? And counter is going to take out the Arceus almost. I thought, well, you know what I'm going to do here? If they've got extreme speed, I'm just going to go for Terra Ghost, and then I can go for Sucker Punch, right? Or anything. So I was like, well, we'll go for that. I've got the Custard Berry, and I'm going to go for Terra Ghost, just in case they do have extreme speed, which, you know, to be fair, most Bonsly has. Maybe they won't expect me to outspeed them and go for a different move, but I just wanted to make doubly sure. So they did an extreme speed, and I went for a Disrespect Flail there. And that is the end of the Arceus, and that's also the end of the battle there. So I only needed one Pokemon to beat the Arceus there. So a beautiful 1v1. Bonsly defeats Arceus only on PIMPNITE Shadow there. Let's get a like for that. Come on, guys. Let's get that like happening. Let's get that fruit basket from Game Free. All right, next battle here. This is a battle against Arts, and we have a pretty cool theme team here. I wonder if you guys can guess what it is. All right. So this wasn't a very nice start. I got skill swapped Honey Gather. I'm like, oh, hell no. The only good thing is, though, the bad thing is they got my Sturdy, lift the Stone Edge, but at least I took it down to 1 health. Then I had a berry, which was Citrus Berry. So it was pretty funny they were able to use my ability to live the Stone Edge there. I'm like, you know, it definitely would live. So they're going to go for Thief, and they're going to steal my my Custard Berry. I was like, oh, I was going to use that later on. So I went for another Stone Edge, and I took them out there. So that's the end of the Ribombee. Pretty salty getting Honey Gather, though. And yes, I have done a Honey Gather ability team, and no, I'm not doing it again. All right, next Pokemon is going to be Passimian. Now, you don't see this Pokemon very often. There wasn't a lot I could do here. So the Passimian is going to go for Curse. I need a drink here, by the way. Having some nice G Fuel. If you want a nice G Fuel, you can use code SALT. Get that fat 20% off. I'm having some Sonic Peach Rings right now. All right. This actually was setting up Curse against me. So I started going for... I mean, I didn't really want to swap another Pokemon in. I really didn't want to because I didn't want to break the Sturdy. And I didn't... Yeah, that was my... I didn't want to take any damage on my Assault Vest set. So in the end, they went for Gyro Balls. Like, oh, it's a Gyro Ball Passman. That's pretty cool. Now, that is a physical move, at least. I thought, well, I don't think any of my Pokemon can one-shot this after 2 curses. It's not possible, right? So they're going to go for Fling now, and they flung the Iron Ball. That was a pretty cool set. So they had Curse to drop their speed and Iron Ball. And then they also had Fling on there too. Pretty cool set. And Bonsly, thank goodness, is going to get rid of Passimian. Thank goodness. Like, I'm serious. I can beat all the sweaty teams with my team, but then I come across a Gyro Ball Fling Passimian with a Curse, and I'm struggling, you know. It's how it is on this channel. So in comes Gothitelle. I got that Custard Berry and went for Flail. But Gothitelle is going to be able to live that one. Gothitelle's got some pretty, you know, reasonable bulk to it. So Gothitelle is going to be paralyzing my Bonsly here. And it's also got leftovers too. So I don't know what sort. It seems to be like some sort of troll set, as usual. I don't think that surprises anyone. So I thought I'll go for Sucker Punch here. But then I got paralyzed. I'm like, that was a shame. I wonder if they're going to attack this set. And they did. They feinted me with a Disrespect Psybeam. Wait, I know what that set is. So what they're trying to do, right? I understand, because I totally wouldn't do this myself. They're going to paralyze me, and then they're going to go for a Confusion with Psybeam. That's scummy. So bringing in the Sudowoodo, so Psybeam should be a 3,000 hit KO. I've got Sucker Punch ready, but I smelled a rat. I was like, nah, I'm going to go for Head Smash instead. So my Sudowoodo is going to get paralyzed by Gothitelle. And I went for Head Smash, and it didn't miss, and I didn't get paralyzed. So that is the end of Gothitelle, thank goodness. I didn't really want to be, like, the rest of my team getting paralyzed. That would have been, really salty. Next Pokemon is going to be Float Cell. So I thought, well, I'm probably going to get outsped here. Maybe I should use Sucker Punch. I was like, nah, I'll just go for Wood Hammer. So it seems to be like some sort of trapping Float Cell set, but I did not get paralyzed, and that Float Cell is going to get squashed like a bug. So bye-bye Float Cell. This entire family tree got taken out there. You know, I always thought with Sudowoodo, when I first seen Sudowoodo as a Pokemon, I was like, man, this is a Grass-type Pokemon. And like, my dumbass, like, I don't know, 9 years old or something, was like, bro, why? Like, what's going on? I'm using fire moves on it. It's not very effective. Then I found out it was like a mimic tree Pokemon. There was, there was the rock type, right? And I've always found that pretty cool, pretty clever, right? So King Gambit's actually gonna have a nice Terror, at least for Drain Punch, that is. And I've got Head Smash in the back, so I thought, well, I'll go for Head Smash. Hopefully I can do this, right? Hopefully I can do this. This is a Fury Cutter, King Gambit, King Toilet. It's actually doing a lot of damage here, and Head Smash does not miss, and I don't get paralyzed. So that is going to be the end of King Gambit, which is pretty good. Now, this battle that I had, right, every single time I went for Sucker Punch, like all the times I went for it, I always seem to get paralyzed. Like, for example, here I was like, oh look, a Frost Slash. I'll go for Sucker Punch, and then I got paralyzed. Before against the Gothitelle, I got paralyzed again. So I couldn't believe it. It kept happening. So now the Frost Slash is going to throw that snow up. I was like, all right, fair enough. I guess I'll go Sucker Punch again, or maybe this time I'll go Wood Hammer. So I changed my mind. I went for Wood Hammer, and it missed because it's a scumbag Snow Veil set there. I totally wouldn't use a set like that. And then I was like, all right, I'll go for Sucker Punch here. I've only got a bit of health left. This uses big damage, right? And then I got paralyzed again 3 times. Like, every time I went for that, I was paralyzed. So this is like a Weather Ball Frost Slash. So like it sets the snow up, and then it gets the Weather Ball, which is a 100 base power ice move. So pretty cool. It's like, but how come they didn't use Blizzard for? Wouldn't that be better? Is there something else to this set? So bringing in Sudowoodo, I got that Terra Normal. I thought, well, if it's got Shadow Ball, that could be useful. Or maybe it could be useless. I'm not really sure. But I've got Stone Edge here. I was like, this is going to be nasty trying to land this in the in the snow, right? Because it probably has something like Bright Powder as well. Like, I know these sort of sets, right? So we're gonna go for that. We're gonna go for that Terra Normal Sudowoodo, hoping for the best here, right? And they didn't attack. They went for Rain Dance. Like, oh, so that's why they got Weather Ball. So Weather Ball is not only serving as an ice move, it's also serving as a water type move too. However, I do connect my Stone Edge there and take out the Frost Slash, and that's the end of the battle. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Can anyone guess what that theme team was? Put it below in the comment section, and let's get on to our 8th and final battle here. I really hope you're enjoying the video today, everyone. Let's do this. This is a battle against Super Bowser, and what team are we going to see this time? We got a Spewper lead. Now, I see a Spewper, and I thought, I've got to get rid of this threat, It's a super powerful Pokemon, really, really powerful. So Spewper is going to probably be spewing after that. And then comes the GOAT Love Disc. I'm like, I am not getting swept by a Love Disc. So Love Disc is going to go for a trick here. I was like, wait a second. I smell a rat. I know Love Disc doesn't get tricked. So I went for counter, and that's going to fail. And I got a flame orb trick to me. I'm like, oh, this is not good. So my Bonsly is not in a good spot here. Then it got tormented. It's like, all right, I think I know what's going on here. So I went for Stone Edge, and lo and behold, it was a normal Zoroark. So, you know, after that trick at the start, I knew it. I was like, it's not Love Disc, but we still have to contend with a Love Disc, all right? So I got Flail and I got Sucker Punch. I thought, well, I'll just go for, I'll go for Flail here. Hopefully I can live on low health, but Zoroark is gonna, it's gonna clap my cheeks, right? So we're gonna go on to the second Bonsly. I thought, well, at least with this, I can go for Stone Edge and try that, right? So Zoroark is going to go for a trick here. Now, the thing is, with my Bonslys, both of them had a Custard Berry, so I thought they might try that, so that's good, right? I actually didn't lose my item, and Stone Edge critted the Zoroark. I don't know if that one actually mattered. I think that still would have killed it, unless it was like a bulky Zoroark. Our next Pokemon is going to be Bisharp, so I was hoping Bisharp would be a physical set, because I've really only got one thing to do to it. And it was a guillotine set. I was like, oh, at least I can't get one shot because I got sturdy. But that's also kind of bad because I won't, if it's only got guillotine as an attacking move, I won't be able to use counter. So the other move I got is Torment. I'm like, that sucks. I won't be able to use counter again if they do have a physical move. So I thought maybe I should swap this out. Or maybe I should just go for Stone Edge and get some damage, or just go for Flail. I don't know. I was in a bit of a rock and a hard place. Get it? So Bisharp's going to go for a Metal Sound. It's like, oh, what is this set? So I went for Stone Edge. Yeah, and Stone Edge missed there. So I was like, is this like some sort of mixed troll set? I have no idea. Then he used Metal Sound again. So I was like, well, Bonsly's special defense is 45. So now it's about negative 455. So I just went for Flail. I couldn't use Torment. I couldn't use Flail again. Then they swapped out. Like, are they trying to set something up here? Are they trying to set like a weak move? So then they went to Sligo. I was like, I smell a rat here. Something's not right. Why would they use Metal Sound twice? So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll go for Stone Edge again, but I can't because of Torment. It's like, well, I'll just go for Sucker Punch. Then he got exposed. It was Water Gun. I was like, oh, I knew it. They were trying to feint me with Water Gun, right? So I got some mean trolls out here trying to do these things to me. So Sligo is going to feint there. At least I didn't feint to Water Gun. The next Pokemon is going to be Skuntank. You don't get to see Skuntank very often. So I've got that Custard Berry, and I've got that Flail, which is going to hit pretty hard against Skuntank. And so I changed my mind. I went for Stone Edge. I didn't go for Flail. And it's going to use Bite. So seeing Bite, I'm starting to think this is probably a scummy flinch stench set or something like that. So the Skuntank has got leftovers too. So bringing in Sudowoodo here. We got that wood. A good nickname for Sudowoodo, if you are wondering, is Morning Wood. I think that's what I call mine. That's a good nickname. So anyway, Sudowoodo is going to get poisoned by the Skuntank. I can virtually go for anything. I just went for Head Smash here, just in case it was like some sort of stalling set. So all we've got left now is Bisharp and Love Disc. So we've seen Bisharp already, and I thought, well, the worst thing that can happen here is if I get hit by Guillotine, right? Because this one doesn't have Sturdy. It's got, it's got the Rock Head, right? So I did some, that's a bulky set there. That just lifted Drain Punch from an Adamant Sudowoodo. That's actually really impressive. Like that must have been like max health and defense. So the second Guillotine is not gonna land, thank goodness. And I just went for a double Drain Punch there. So the last Pokemon on this team is Love Disc. Now we haven't had a Terra yet, so I'm like, this is probably going to be something like Terra Water Love Disc, or I don't know, like, I know what moves it gets. I know it gets Hydro Pump and stuff like that. So I've got Wood Hammer. I thought, unless it's going to be a different Terra, like something I'm not expecting. I mean, you don't get to see Love Disc in battle very much, to be fair. So we have got a Terra Ground Love Disc. Look at that beautiful hat there. I don't know how Love Disc is not getting squished. So it's going to go for unload a massive Hydro Pump And my assault vest saves my ass there. If I didn't have that, I would have lost for sure. And that also had life orb as well, so I managed just to live that due to the assault vest. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed all this battle. If you did, drop a like, drop a comment, and I'll catch you tomorrow for some more videos. Peace out.